agnostic thing. Don't know what they're talking about. And I'm going to sound like a jerk here, and I realize that. I often do, but astrology has nothing to do with being agnostic or atheist. And I'll just encourage you, if you see that on their profile, maybe kind of push them. So what led you to agnosticism? Why are you in it? Like, can you explain what does that mean to me? Sometimes when we act dumb, just ask basic questions, see what their answers are. You can gauge what they understand about what they're claiming, and just either, okay, maybe they're a rainbow, a unicorn of some kind, or I don't want to blab on and on, but just push back a little bit, and if it sounds like bullshit, it probably is. And most people are full of bullshit. I'm gonna mute.
Well, I'm a little confused because, I mean, you're telling me to run from people that are interested in astrology. And, personally, I am interested in astrology. And I don't think it's bunk. I think there's a lot of analog and psychology in it. And I'm not necessarily a literalist in the same way that, when I say if I'm a Christian, I'm not necessarily a literalist about it. But there's always this contrast with Islam or with Judaism or with Buddhism or Hinduism. So it's compare and contrast. Take what benefits you, take what's good, leave what's not interesting to you. So I like your PTR. It's very cool. Is that like an art exhibit, Trust?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was an installation I went to a few years ago. But just to respond real quick, yeah, and that's fine. I'm not knocking on it. I find a lot of things very interesting, but it doesn't mean that I practice it or believe it. I know quite a bit about astrology. I'm very fascinated with why people think what they think, why they are the way they are, how people have evolved in spirituality and mythology throughout our history. I'm not an expert at all. I'll make that clear, but I know quite a bit about it, but it doesn't mean I believe in it. I just think for me personally, astrology, to say, okay, I'll give an example. I was in Canada several years ago. 16 people I'd never met before at a round table. And the woman to my left, she was trying to break the ice. She said, how about we all say our signs? She turns to me. I said, well, I'm blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I never get along with them. She turned her back to me the rest of the time. And it was this weird thing. Then I met this guy. So I worked in the yachting industry for some time, and I met this guy who was a professor at MIT. He decided to go boating for an extended period of time. We started talking, got along, we were outside. This sounds like a jerk here, and I realize that I often do, but astrology. I said, all right, watch this. He was a Gemini. I'm XYZ. I want to hear your thoughts. If you guess it wrong, astrology is not true. Because you should know what my sign is by now. That's a joke. She started walking towards us. I said, hi, we're really curious. Are you interested in astrology? She said, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm a Libra. I'm a Libra. And I was like, well, I'm a Gemini.
Oh my God, no, a Libra.
I was like, I'm a Gemini, so I switched our signs. I said, he's a this. And she goes, oh my God, I love Geminis. We always, it's like, oh, they're so smart. But she goes, well, to him, it's a lie. I don't get along with them. And, sorry, why should we, that's my problem with astrology. It's not curiosity. And most people, even in astrology, don't know what an ascendant or the moon is.
And I don't think it's bunk. I think there's a lot of analog.
How infinitely complex astrology can actually get. Down to a study being done where it was like 60 people in a room.
Wait, do you actually think it makes sense, astrology?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay,
60 people in the same room were given the same horoscope of all signs. Only 2 people said this isn't for me. Everyone else was like on point. It's right. It's what is it called? It's suggestion. People are so easily, even the smartest people could be so easily swayed by the power of suggestion, or there's a better term for it. The power of suggestion kind of sounds wishy-washy to me. Do you know what I mean? Decide for yourself, know who you are, and all I say is just don't judge people based on their sign, because you don't know actually who they are. There's a lot of things about my sign that are in direct contradiction to who I am that is fundamental to my sign. And it's a shame when they judge each other based on those things. That's my problem with it. It's fun, it's a party game, fine, but I don't think there's any deeper spiritual significance to it. Plus, back in the, not long ago, when they're like, oh, the planets have adjusted. Now, if you're a Gemini, you're a Cancer, but, no, it doesn't work like that. Anyone else?
I mean, well, pretty accurate, but I wouldn't. There's anything woo about suggestion. It's a kind way of calling other people gullible, to be honest.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
In psychology, in sociology and psychology, I'm not gonna give a dissertation on it. Just look into it. People are very easy. Even the most intelligent people are persuaded by suggestion, and when you're told you're a Scorpio, so you're intense, and it internalizes things within you, I think, or brings out aspects of yourself that may have otherwise developed in different ways, just because this is what the societal pressure is saying you should be like.
Correct.
Yeah, but
I mean,
in astrology, there's more than just sun signs you're talking about. So
Yeah,
no one cares.
Well, I talked about that too, the ascendant, the moon,
Oh my
etc.
Exactly.
But when
So
you
that's
have 12 planets, how many other planets? When you cherry pick what makes sense to you, you can make it make sense out of any conglomeration that you're presented with. You know what I mean?
It's because people wanna have a place socially.
Yeah, with idiots,
Yeah.
respectfully.
So they're trying to do that.
I mean, the point is with astrology, that's why
And I don't think
it's more nuanced than just like this is your sun sign and that's it.
It's not
And
nuanced.
I'm not
I'm aware of that.
Nuance. Everything's fucking nuance. Everything on Clubhouse is nuance. How many times is everybody gonna say fucking nuance? God damn, I'm sick and tired of hearing that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Chill just a
Oh, come on, bro.
chill just a little.
It's okay to get excited. It's okay.
On point.
But seriously, how many times do you hear people say, "Oh, it's just a little nuance"? Oh, there's some nuance to this. And you know what? I bet 90% of the time they're not using it correctly.
Then you just ask, what do you mean by that?
I was just making a comment to spice up the conversation because this talk of astrology is just.
I'm with JCC here. I think nuance is completely overused. And
Yeah.
It's used to wiggle. It's used because people have run out of their argument.
And
they're
astrology is pseudoscience,
right.
is a bunch of
They
malarkey.
don't know how to admit it.
How about we ask? Sorry, and I don't mean to talk over. I glitched. It sounded silent, and I started speaking. But I don't know when they came in. If you heard before, I've studied it extensively. I'm aware it's far more nuanced. But how about this? How about they explain their thoughts on it to us? How is it?
Talking about Euro?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Euro.
So
go ahead.
Euro, you hold is astrology credible to you? Do you hold it to be credible?
I was just talking about that it's not boils down to just sun sign. That the people that are into astrology will point to many other factors.
Right, but my question
which
is,
exactly what we were talking about.
do you think it's credible? That's to you, Euro.
I don't know why you're trying to pin this down.
I'm not trying to pin you. Just Euro, if you don't want to answer, that's fine. I'm gonna call you Jellyfish, dude.
Okay. All right.
I will continue to call him Euro, but I agree. If you don't want to answer or engage, just say you'd like to listen for a bit right now. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. To change the tone here, Euro, I'm curious, if you have the stage, why don't you share your thoughts on it? You're saying it's more nuanced.
Well, I started.
I agree with you. Okay, all right. Well, everyone, all right, we're going to give you the stage. We'd love to hear your
No,
thoughts.
I think what you said made a lot of sense, and
Out of any
people
conglomeration that you're
tend to
presented with.
oversimplify astrology,
Because people
and like you said, they just work on their sun sign, and that doesn't always
That's not what
apply.
I said at all.
Well, you did say that some people just know their sun's
Oh,
sun.
sure.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
But yeah, okay, sorry.
I guess the question is, what's your point? Because, okay, people simplify astrology, but astrology is still idealist nonsense. It is not real, right? So what's your point?
Well, can I just say something? I think Trust was talking about suggestion and
We don't care. We don't care.
Oh, you don't care, but I'm talking. Do you know how to go on mute and have a conversation? I'll just shut up. I'm gonna go enjoy my evening. Have a great night. Bye.
You're derailing a question. So what's your point, Euro? That's the question.
This talk of
Yeah, and it's not a gotcha. So you're saying it's more nuanced. You want to talk about it. Seriously, it's sincerity. I mean,
No, it
we
was
can talk about
Alistair
this.
that was speaking, not me.
Yeah, and I was interrupted by the
He
comrade.
said, Alistair said he was going to be quiet and listen. See, I have to agree in part with what JCC said, rather than repeating, well, it's nuanced like 5 times. What I wouldn't mind hearing is someone saying once, well, it's nuanced, and here's why, and then go ABC 1, 2, 3.
Well, I could lead it.
That's up to you guys. Hey, go ahead.
From what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, your sun sign is like your makeup. But what a lot of people don't understand in astrology, there's a belief in all the planetary influences throughout your entire chart. And the 3 most important, your sun, ascendant, or rising, or your moon. And your moon, not or. So your sun is your basic makeup, your character. Your ascendant is how you present yourself to people, how they perceive you. Your moon is your emotional makeup, and it's kind of weird. It's like how you are processing things through in what way you are. I know I'm sounding like Jordan Peterson right now. Let me get a little more specific. Maybe Euro can enlighten us a bit because I'm rusty on this.
Russ, I'll be generous. I'll be generous, Trust.
Okay,
You're doing just fine. Like, this sentence makes every bit as much sense as
but until I got to the moon.
As anything you said all night.
Let's do lunch there tomorrow.
You're right on brand and right on target. Keep going.
Okay. Yeah, so one of my favorite examples of this. So 2 Aquariuses. I have a sibling and one of my good friends, Will. Will is like a 6 foot. He's tall, super skinny, super punk, massive blue glowing eyes, black hair. You feel him enter a room. He has a Scorpio ascendant. He's highly intuitive. He's into the occult. He's into a lot of different stuff. He struggles with addiction and many other things. But he's a very sullen, introspective, introverted person. My sibling is an Aquarius with a Leo ascendant. The ascendant, again, is how you present yourself to the world. You put her in a room full of people, she'll be best friends with everybody within an hour. She can connect with people, read them very well, and understand how to dance with them in a way that most people find her very comfortable to be around. That's one of my favorite examples of if astrology is actually real. But then I also wonder, I do again think it's oversimplifying how complex people are. And that's fine. But if someone says they're a Libra, don't say, I've got you figured out. It's far more complicated than that. And I don't want to hear anything about a chart, because when you have all these different planets involved and signs, you could cherry pick, like I said before, out of all of these to make it make sense so that it seems accurate. But to me, it's no different from a psychic cold reading. There's ways for people to get enough information or find enough information about you to build a story that people want to believe. And when people, it's the individual they're speaking to. I think astrology makes people feel special. It makes them feel powerful. Oh, I'm a Sagittarius. We got this. We rule the world. Okay, great. Or then you have, you're a Pisces. Yeah, I stay alone. I don't like anybody. I stay in my room all the time playing video games. I'm a Pisces. And I'm just kind of more concerned about people assuming they know everything about each other based on that. But
Would you say that it's
you wanna expand on that?
Would you say it's a psychological NLP, basically, or an LLM? Because they're, like you said, it makes people feel powerful, and there's just a lot of information in there, and it can help you address a lot of emotional situations people might be in.
By LLM, are you saying a large language model?
That's right, comrade. You got it right.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you think I'm talking about? What do you think? It's called a book. Have you read a book about it?
Well, comrade, when you think about it, the universe is large, right? There's information you can gain from it. That could be language, so it's a large language model.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay.
Oh, we got triggered!
Every day.
Gaslight!
Random words
Gaslight!
based off of which arbitrary month you're born.
It might be a little too nuanced for you, comrade.
In a room.
There's nuance to it.
I'm gonna finish up real quick. So in a room that's asking atheists anything, essentially it's another structure for people to make sense of the world, why they are the way they are, why people are the way they are, come to pretty snap decisions about who they are and how to interact with them.
I'm gonna go to
Make judgments on them. Perhaps they feel superior to them or lesser, but it's just another construct for people to try and make sense of the world, which I think is overall, for me, I don't believe in it at all, but it's fascinating. But I'd love to hear your all expand or comment, or Alistair, I don't know.
Have you used tarot cards, Trust?
Have I used tarot cards?
Yes, that's the question.
Yes, I have. I had read for, I don't know, over 10 years.
And did you find any validity in it?
Different from a psychic? It's similar because each card represents 50 different interpretations, which the card in itself is interpreted in relation to all the others. So what I used was the Celtic cross, and it's similar. I can see it's absolutely similar. And it's so much that we're seeking to infer or come to a conclusion or make sense of something and look for the answer that we want, right? I don't read for people, and I hardly ever read myself, but I got very involved and fascinated with it in a period of my life. It's just another thing that I became competent in.
Can we agree it's fiction?
Can we agree it's fiction? Yeah, I mean, I have no reason to believe that it's real. I mean, I think that anyone who says whatever, first of all, in readings, never pay someone to read your cards. Second of all, it is a suggestion. It's supposed to be a story, an insight to what is going on or other factors or ways to look at the situation. But it never tells you this is what is going to happen and you have no control. You always have control.
So is all communication suggestion?
We're done with the open trolling about your life being controlled by positional stars. I did have a kind of an interesting repartee this morning. I had a guy tell me that he was entirely 100% certain that pushing could never justify use of force. And it turns out that there's lots of cases where pushing can justify all kinds of things. Pushing people off the railing.
Yeah, well, when I was saying that, I wasn't talking about pushing someone into a train. I wasn't talking about pushing somebody off a mountain. I wasn't talking about pushing someone into a buzzsaw. I was just talking about I was talking about pushing someone off a chair. But please continue.
Well, this is the
Well,
point where
yeah, and Steve, and in particular,
problem.
yeah. So Stephen, in this particular case, the person wasn't even pushed off the chair, but
I thought they were. My mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, they were barely moved. They were barely moved.
I didn't see. I didn't even
exactly.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, in fact, they were barely moved.
I just want to say Steve is absolutely right.
Do you think there's that in all cases pushing does not justify?
No, Benjamin, not all cases. Not all cases. But if you,
He already said what he meant.
What he said was in all
This
cases.
also has nothing to do with atheism. So,
The
Comrade!
title of the room is Ask an Atheist Anything.
Yeah, but let's not get dragged
I just
into
got
like.
back to his statement, which was that he was categorically sure. He was very certain. In fact,
We're playing the Benjamin rewrites
Well,
reality.
yes, of course. And by the
It
way,
went back to.
trust. This was a conversation that Benjamin and I had on the show earlier this morning. So
Yeah.
Let's
Before
go
we
back
go
and listen to
off
the recording.
track
And-
of Benjamin stealing the show again, can we let
and
Trust
he-
finish?
you know what? Let me just say one thing in regards to. Hello. I want to say one thing in regards to Benjamin stealing the show. How many times did I say today? Now, if you want to hear more Benjamin, don't come on stage and speak. If you
And there
love
were
to hear
tons of
more
people. There was
Benjamin,
like 100
don't
people.
come. I said it about 10 times.
Steve, I want to point out.
No, I'm just responding to the last comment. So if somebody listening to the show really doesn't want to hear Benjamin speak, come up and speak. I say it 25
No,
times
but
a show.
Trust was speaking and Benjamin interrupted.
Oh, I thought you were referring during the show. I'm sorry.
No. I was
That's
referring to the fact that
trolling about
Trust was talking. It was an interesting conversation, and Benjamin had to interrupt to bring up
Are you interested
an
in
argument.
I got him!
Earlier,
Gaslight!
excuse me, I was talking.
Gaslight!
Why are you
I
interrupting
didn't
me?
know Euro was
I'm
interested in
talking.
tarot cards.
I'm literally talking. Don't interrupt me, please. Let me finish. And I wanted to point out that Benjamin interrupted Trust to tell us about an argument that he had with Steve earlier today, and he had to introduce it by misrepresenting what Steve said, which is not uncommon.
And I think part of the challenge is that Benjamin's behavior is if he's not centered, right? He will bring up some sort of topic that he knows will trigger somebody, certain people, and that the conversation will turn to that topic and he'll be centered again, right? And he does it in the middle of other people discussing things to like divert the conversation. And so people would come up on stage and talk, right? But you have to like put Benjamin in check when he does that centering thing.
I think that's a mischaracterization of Benjamin.
I'll give you a good spanking, Benjamin. Don't you worry, babe. I appreciate that. Yeah, I love hearing what other people have to say. I mean, it's open. You know, everyone should bring up different topics and things. I personally, whatever you guys, where you want to go with this, I'm just more weary about feeling like I'm being dragged into this kind of a conversation. But as far as cards go, I've studied a lot of weird shit. I've looked into a lot of stuff. For me, I've always in search of God is no different in different other practices. Tarot being one of them. Is there any truth to this? I would say it could be extremely insightful, but I think it's often misused. And I do think perhaps there's like a confirmation bias, especially could be even on my end. What am I looking for in myself if I'm doing it for myself or someone else, which is more of a cold reading? When they tell me nothing, and I say I don't want to know anything that you're thinking. And then you tell me if this is right. It's more of a scientific method of, is there any truth to any of this? I don't know.
Trust, you can read people's tarot cards, but you can also read a book about tarot cards. That's the valuable information about tarot cards, not somebody's off-the-cuff interpretation of somebody.
On stage and speak.
I know. This is the thing I see with tarot. Go
Can I
ahead.
respond to that real quick? Yes, but the books tell you how to interpret the card. What do the cards mean? Each card means about 50 different things. So it is partially you learn the cards, all the interpretations,
Everybody's
and then
just
as
doing
you read, putting the story together. For me, it's not just reading a book, but it's also practice. Is there any truth to this?
I mean, you do realize tarot is Kabbalah, right?
I know the answer. There's truth to none of it.
You realize you're talking to atheists, right?
Yeah, so anyway, hi Benjamin. Did you hear me
You know
say
what?
my name?
Let's establish one rule. When a mod is speaking, please don't interrupt the mod. Very simple. Go ahead, Cora.
Goodness. Benjamin, go on mute. Seriously. All right, I'll do it for you since you seem to be incapable of muting.
And Toast, if you haven't guessed, I think this is the first time I'm speaking to you. Some of us know each other. A lot of us know of each other. Some of us don't. Go ahead, Cora.
Okay, anyhow, I think the thing with tarot cards is that they kind of originated in this sort of positive feedback loop way. So started as, playing cards, parlor games, advanced parlor tricks, right? And then you started feeding into the parlor trick idea and encoding like artistic messages, just like they did with regular art, into the cards, right? So that and it just like looped around and looped around and looped around. So like,
does that center
esoteric meaning.
I think that's a mischaracterization of Benjamin.
Making judgment, don't you worry about it. Consolidation of like cultural signals into
I'll
a portable sort of device, right? Now, the whole you interpret tarot cards a certain way, honestly, it's just like, if you look at it, it's just like, what do these symbols mean to you? That's all it means. And I don't think you can read tarot cards for anyone else. It's like, how does how do cultural signals work for you? What are you saying? It's kind of like dream interpretation or whatever. It's like only useful for you if you're doing it for yourself.
Well, it's interesting because my first experience with tarot cards was when I was on a school field trip, and we had someone who started showing us how to read tarot cards and do readings for us, and none of us had ever experienced it before, as we were all quite young. And what was really fascinating to me was everybody was very impressed by the readings and saying, how accurate they were and how insightful they were. And, it's, if nothing else, it shows that the person doing the reading has some skills.
Check out my PTR. I actually have a book by Steve Appel.
Yeah, it's a great performance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a parlor trick, right? And it's similar to like astrology, where the message given within like the standardized interpretations is so ambiguous and vague that it can be like, taken anyway. It's going to resonate with just about anybody, right?
It is directly tied to
what
Torah.
Question are you asking the cards? So it's like, it's.
Yeah,
but I do appreciate, much like Alejandro Jodorowsky, I appreciate the art and like the cultural concentration that's within the symbology in tarot cards. I have piles and piles of tarot cards because I'm like a nerd, and I like to make spreadsheets and mark all of the different semaphores in them and see where they all cross over and relate to each other. So,
What's your favorite deck?
My favorite deck right now, well, I like the Hermetic Tarot, which most people don't have, but I have a really beautiful one called, I don't have my glasses on, so I can't read the top of it. I just remember them by color, so it's the actual, I think it's the Infinite Door Tarot. I have some really beautiful.
It's all Hebrew. If you guys don't know it yet, nobody's saying anything intelligent about tarot here. You're just saying, generalized. Look at my PTR. This is a book by Steve Appel about the Torah in the tarot. It's all Kabbalah. It's all right there. Nobody here reads books, apparently.
Well, at least no one is flat out lying. Like if at least lying like you are, because I've never written a book.
And it's also because tarot cards were developed at the same time Kabbalah is being developed in like the 14 and 1500s. So yeah, similar cultural symbolism. There you go.
Well, the thing about tarot cards is that they come out in the 1430s, regular playing cards in the 1300s. But the idea of using them for readings and fortune telling didn't come till much later. I think the 1780s. So, they were just playing cards for hundreds of years.
So, yeah, my understanding, there's been forms of divination for a very long time. going back thousands and thousands of years, cards and symbolism and this idea of allowing the spirit to guide what happens and reveal itself is not just limited to, I mean, we talk about hermetic decks. Okay, so that's linked to the, what is that? Is it Golden Dawn? Is that right? I don't know if Rider Waite is the first deck that's became popular. That's the one that I'm most familiar with.
I think it's the Marseille deck.
Crowley Toss came out, but it originated actually in Spain, the Gypsies. It has nothing to do with the Jews. Absolutely nothing to do with the Jews. They have their own, in Kabbalah, it's a completely different divination system. There's divination systems all over the world, which is hinged on the way that the cowrie shells fall is a god or goddess deciding to convey a message or the spirits, and it goes out and out. I'm getting down a rabbit hole. I don't want to go down. I love your
I have piles and piles of tarot cards because I'm like under, and I like to make spreadsheets and mark all of the different metaphors in them and see where they all cross and cross over and relate to each other. So, what's your favorite deck? My favorite deck right now.
The press, and this is true. I have verified this that a world-class education is now completely free. MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, has opened its entire vault of more than 2,500 courses to public online, and with total student loan debt in the United States reaching trillions. MIT is offering almost their entire class courses online for free. FYI.
They've been doing that for a while.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of colleges do it. The thing is that you don't get any of the accreditation.
You don't get the accreditation or the degree, right? Exactly.
Yeah, you can learn whatever you like, but you can't get a piece of paper from it. So
yeah, that piece of paper is going to cost you $50,000 a year or whatever, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, and it's true. Stanford does this as well. MIT and a couple of schools, but Harvard did announce, and some of the other Ivy League schools are joining in. That they've started a new thing where people that have come from a family whose income is
They cannot afford it, yeah.
Well, specifically under $200,000 a year, they get free tuition, and then they also cover other costs like a room and board.
That's brick and mortar education, yes.
Yeah, and also for those that are under 100,000, they even pay for trips back and forth from school and a bunch of other things. So they are. I think they are trying to help with that gap. But going back to tarot cards, I'll just say one thing. So all of the readings that we got, obviously, during our school trip were free. Nobody was charging for any of that. And the other thing is, they were incredibly specific. So unlike astrology, which Cora and some other people pointed out is very generalized information that almost anybody can relate to, I found that the tarot card readings, at least the ones that I experienced, were very specific. But again, I think that's probably due to the skill of the reader. As far as the Encyclopedia Britannica article I'm looking at, it specifically says that the adaptation of tarots to fortune-telling purposes first occurred in France about 1780. And we know the cards themselves date back to the 15th century.
By the way, Cora, can I ask you a question? I know we're in a public forum right now. I don't remember who it was, but last night someone came on the Ask an Atheist Anything, quadruple A, and said they either spoke to you or they spoke to somebody that spoke to you that said, although you are not changing your atheism, you're seriously considering joining an offshoot or a variation of some type of religion. Is there any truth to
He
it?
is almost there.
Okay, bad religion. I wanted to ask. Okay.
I mean, and this might be like people's just lack of understanding of like metaphysics, but I like talk about how I'm a post-theist and I'm a perennialist, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm religious at all. It just
Right.
means I afford other people grace, you know, and
Which is
charity.
fine. Yeah.
And I think that, you know, humanity itself should move past theism, but I'm not going to push anybody off a cliff, right?
Right.
I think the other thing too is I jokingly, you know, I have this like I actually updated it today to have the
I
piece
had
of bacon.
a feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, the hijab photo, just to like mess with people. Andrew
I saw
asked me
that.
if I
I saw
was
that,
converting to Islam, and I said yes because I want to have 4 husbands, right? And
Gotcha.
yeah, so yeah, now I added the piece of bacon, hopefully trying.
Yeah,
to
and also in the Muslim religion, and this is true from my understanding, any of you Muslims, if there are any here, can correct me if I'm wrong, when a woman gets married, as part of the requirements of getting married, the husband and her have to agree, and or she demands how much money and or property and or things she's going to get if she gets divorced. That's done before the marriage is started. That's true, guys.
Okay, if you say so. I have another question for the atheist. This is a good one. I hope you appreciate it. It's if you are an atheist, and it's my belief that essentially what's really happening with all these world religions, it's just political, but it's a very complicated language game of politics. Would you agree with that sentiment?
That question makes no sense. Please rephrase it.
So it's my observation that, you know, especially on this app, because you can really watch Muslims and Christians and Jews debate, what's really happening is politics, not religion. Would you agree with that sentiment?
Are you asking if every that talks about religion is really about politics? Is that your question?
Yes.
That requires a response from you.
I said yes. And as if you were an atheist.
Okay, well, if that's your question, the answer is no.
Okay, can you explain why it's no?
Yes, because when people are talking about religion, they're not talking about politics. They're talking about religion. That's it.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to get at, is that what's really happening at the subcontextual level is it's political. It's geopolitical.
I'm telling you it's not. Now, please feel free to explain why you think that. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if Islam originated in the 7th century as a counterparty, you know, as as opposition to Christian kings, what I'm saying is that if you're an atheist and there is no God, well, then obviously all this communication is actually political. It's not. It's all retarded politics, but it's political.
Yeah,
Okay, you still haven't explained why. Hang on. I'm sorry. You've pointed to something that's 1,400 years old, and the people that are talking on Clubhouse presumably were all born within the past 40 years. Also, the people that are talking on Clubhouse about religion are not necessarily atheists. They could be Muslim and Christian, or Christian and Jewish. So this, once again, is why I say, when you hear conversations on Clubhouse, people talking about religion, it's not politics, it's religion.
Steve, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you think that all conversations on Clubhouse about religion
Woman
are
gets
really
married
about
as-
architecture?
Husband and what I try to
think
agree,
about it.
No, I just heard you. What I try and do first and foremost is to determine, and this is sometimes very difficult, whether or not the people that are speaking, whether or not they are sincere. That is a very difficult task.
I agree. And my question is, are they sincere about architecture?
I heard you.
Yeah, about architecture, yeah.
You know, that's why I chuckled. That's why I chuckled.
I think what Alistair is saying, or maybe implying, is that any form of knowledge is esoteric, because where do we have any truth claims in religion, or in science, or in any form of human?
Well, I can tell you where we have truth claims in religion, that I am a Jew. I was born a Jew. I was raised a Jew. I was married in a synagogue. I raised my family Jewish, and I still maintain that I'm with the Jewish religion. There's a truth claim for you, right?
Well, I think what's happening is like a philosophical paradox where I think Alistair's
Nothing I said is philosophical, sir.
No, because you're speaking, but where did you learn that human language, those words from? Where did you get those words from?
I learned human language from my parents, the people around me, and school. Where did you learn your language from?
I'm not saying it's the truth.
No, my question is, where did you learn your language from? That's the exact same question you asked me.
I can't answer the question.
You can't answer. You don't know where you learned your language from?
You don't know either. That's what
no. See, here, hang on. Now, this is why I said what I said a minute ago, that what I try and do is determine whether or not the person speaking is being sincere. Now, you see, he just asked.
Who determines that? That's what I'm saying.
I do. Here's.
Steve does. It's the Steve Show.
Where did I learn my language from? I answered completely truthfully. My parents, the people I speak to in school. I asked him where he learned his language from. He doesn't answer. Then I ask him again, and he doesn't answer. And then he says that what I said is not true. So is he now accusing me of lying?
No, I'm not accusing you of lying. I'm actually guilty.
Then why don't you, if you're not accusing me of lying, why don't you think I learned my language from parents, people around me, and school?
I know the answer.
I'm asking him. Yeah, go ahead.
Solipsistic skepticism is a self-defeating, paradoxical...
That doesn't answer my question.
It does answer your question. You just don't get it.
Okay.
Steve doesn't get it.
That's fine. We'll just move on. Go ahead.
We're going to move on. Fine.
He's saying it's political human communication. That's what he's saying.
I heard what Alistair said. Yeah, go ahead, Trust.
Solipsism has nothing to do with it. To you, what is solipsism?
No, well, solipsism...
What is solipsism?
Solipsism, if you look up the
definition, that's why I chuckle.
No, solipsism is the idea that everything is about you. It's like a one player in the game mentality. Like in the Matrix, everything is around you. You are a god in some way. You control. It has nothing to do with. I mean, solipsistic skepticism is kind of contradicts itself, because solipsism is kind of, to me, when people get into New Age theology, or whatever you want to call it, or solipsism, it's kind of like a final breakdown before they lose their mind, respectfully. We all go through highs and lows. I'm not judging anybody, but...
Is that your opinion, or is that a fact?
It's actually a very dangerous kind of self-centeredness.
And this is why
people accuse atheists of.
And this is why I've constantly have a huge problem with the clubhouse philosophers, or clubhouse people that talk solicism and philosophy, because they really don't want to get down to the truth. What I have found is that most philosophers on Clubhouse, or most people that talk philosophy, they want to talk about what's possible rather than what actually is. And for me and only me, it bugs the crap out of me. That's why I don't get along with a lot of the Clubhouse philosophers. It's on me. Yeah, go ahead.
So
yeah, sure.
Steve,
oh my goodness, can I please speak?
Yeah, go ahead, Cora. Mods anytime.
Yeah. So Trust, you were a little off, and Jimmy was a little off too. Like, solipsism is
time for the incorrection.
It's the belief that the only thing you can know, like, the only epistemic truth is that your mind exists, or your consciousness exists, and you can't be certain about anything else. That's what solipsism is.
And if I may, very quickly, and then I will mute up. And what bugs the crap out of me even more is when I'm asked a question like I was asked, I answer truthfully, and then this guy disagrees with me. Dude doesn't know me at all. But
no, you're right.
but he's taking a philosophical concept and he's applying it to everybody. I mean, why ask me a question when he's already developed his own answer? That's my problem.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't have it.
Okay, so I wanted to take a stab at this and then see if maybe Jimmy or others agreed with me. So I was going to say that it's a philosophical idea that only your own mind is certain to exist, and I would put it this way. I'd be sure that I'm having experiences, but I cannot prove that the external world, other people, or other minds truly exist outside my consciousness.
That's the Google definition, that's for sure.
So like two things here. The reason why they are called skeptical scenarios is because they apply equally to everyone, including Christians, Jimmy. So my question about that is, how do you know that you are not a brain in a vat?
To me, when people get into New Age
cognitive reasoning,
theology,
classical logic, Aristotelian, the classical laws of Aristotelian logic.
before
Why would I
they
rely on
lose their mind, especially.
So it's never-ending self-defeatism, essentially.
So you're saying you can't rely on your own thought. Is that what you're saying?
Or your senses, both.
All right. Well, at least you admit it, which is fine. I got no problem with that.
I mean, I'm being dishonest when I say yes, because there is no yes in my,
Well, that's for you.
And the thing is that you're never experiencing the present. You're always experiencing a memory of what you just experienced. So that's the way your brain works. So, that is like questionable. But the thing is that, yeah, it's self-defeating. It's like, okay, whatever, you still have to do things. So you just use what you've got to work with. I don't think a logic is like objectively true, but it's a useful tool, and has a high level of certainty as far, or probability of being close to accurate. There are cases where it's not, but they're rare, or few and far between. So.
Yeah, but if that provides you a better life, then fine, that's great. Just don't try and push your better life on me.
I'm just talking about the way.
No, I was talking to him. I wasn't talking to you.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing. He's just playing Filbro. I don't think he even has.
He's playing what I refer to as philosophical erudite.
Well, yeah, it seems a little. Yeah, he seems like a bit of a sophist to me, but and he isn't really espousing any particular worldview. He's just playing, like I said, he's playing Filbro bingo, and it's like, okay, whatever.
I mean, it would be more sincere and genuine to simply say, none of us can really know what's going on because we only know our own mind, rather than ask me, where did I learn my language from? He doesn't care about the answer, because he knows the answer I'm going to give him is not the philosophical answer that he has already decided is correct.
Well, since you know everything,
that was sort of the point that he was kind of making, maybe not clearly enough, because he said as a response that he doesn't know how he learned language, that you don't know, and that it's not knowable.
Well, as if that makes his life better, then great. Keep living his life that way. I got no problem with it.
I got another question. Since you know everything, yeah, I mean, my Jimmy actually clearly reduced my point, which is all communication is political and all religious communication is political. But what I'm trying to say is, since Steve knows everything, what's the one question do you think that would fuck up, your position, Steve, and JCC Core? What are one or two or three questions that make your position untenable?
Well, once again, you're wrong.
Steve knows everything! Steve knows
Also, when you say my position, if there's a singular sort of like position, like that's weird. What are you talking about?
Well, what's really weird is he says not only is all religious communication political, but all communication is political.
Yeah, he's just doing this thing where he comes up with some weird slogan and he tries to like shoehorn everything into working with it.
Yeah, for a long time it was all
You're never experiencing experiencing the present, you're always experiencing a memory of what you just experienced, so that's how your brain works. So, that's, even that is like questionable. But the thing is that, it's self-defeating. It's like,
truth value, objective truth value at that.
Oh, I know why he's on
So,
stage.
like, if you start waving it around, it's like, well, I am part of the religion that has the objective truth. Therefore, my thoughts on this particular policy are better informed by objective truth, So, yes.
Well, when you do ad hominem, you lose the argument.
Is the technique that you pointed out that he's doing, and that he often does, is also done by somebody else on this stage. So the two of them and do it to each other.
Well, do you agree that ad hominem is the point where you lose the argument? Hello? The question is, or I guess the statement is ad hominem the point where you lose the argument?
You lose an argument as soon as you get into an argument. Just have discussions.
Got it. Okay, thanks, Cora.
When I ask the question, the solipsistic skeptic just goes in for the fun.
Once you go ad hominem, I believe that you have temporarily lost the ability to express a sincere response.
I'm not sure anyone here has gone ad hominem.
Yeah, you guys are ad homineming me by attacking me personally and saying, oh, he always does this, but you're not addressing my questions because you're lame and you can't actually address my questions.
No, somebody pointing out a technique that you're using is not making it an ad hominem. Sorry.
And somebody speaking the truth is not an ad hominem either.
And I did answer your question right after, but you were so busy to think of why that was a personal attack on you that you apparently missed it.
It's not being used to win an argument either.
I think everybody comes into a philosophical discussion assuming that everybody's after philosophical. Is assuming philosophical objectivity, like it's an actual thing that we all agree upon without even saying it before we come in.
Well, not me. When I go into a discussion, I go in to establish the truth.
So we got all conversations are political, all conversations are philosophical, and all conversations are architectural. So I don't know.
I think my argument on religious is it for the purpose of truth, and I think he's speaking philosophically.
Right. I'm just going to interject real quick. So when Cora said the moment you lose a quote argument, it should be a debate. It should be a civil conversation. What are your thoughts and what are mine? We should learn from each other and expand how we look at things and understand more people, right? You lose that when it becomes ad hominem, because that just means that one or the other person or both lose sight of having a civil discourse. And it becomes personal. When people go low and they start to deflect and attack and make it personal to distract from the fact actually that they probably, if they knew what they were talking about, it wouldn't go there. Am I right, Cora? Or correct me if I'm wrong. That's just how I interpret it.
Before Cora answers, let me respond. Most of the people in this room right now missed the 10-minute conversation that you and I had. It was not about politics. It was about religion. It was not anything general. It was about your trip.
Travel.
It was about travel. And I asked you some questions because I wanted to learn. And you really didn't ask me. I openly gave you some of my history about when I last went on vacation to the place you're going in. And it was a standard civil, at least I thought, enjoyable conversation. So
I got a new question for the atheists. What is atheistic narcissism?
So apparently, all
What is atheistic narcissism? What is atheistic? The question is, what is atheistic narcissism?
I would just say I don't know. I would state a statement and be insincere and say I don't know what I just stated. I don't agree with what I just stated. It would be an infinite black hole regress of epistemic insanity.
Well, it'd be an oxymoron because these people, not every.
These people?
Okay, there's a different kinds of people of all beliefs, but atheists generally, they tend to be very curious about the truth. And atheistic narcissism, I guess it's like if you're saying they believe they're important or more value, condescending and cruel to people who don't agree with them. I would argue against that 100%. I'm sure there are people out there like that, but it's no different from people who are adamant in their faith and believe everyone else around the planet, billions of people, are going to hell because they're not in the team. So who's a narcissist, actually? And actually, atheists tend to be some of the most kind, saying, I'm sure more people know about this than I do. They don't assume things. What bothers me is when people talk about things that they don't know what they're talking about.
Got it.
I'm hearing a lot of word salad here.
Well, are you doing word salad? Is that projection?
You can throw around a lot of it. No, I mean, I will say if I don't know something, I'll say so.
Oh, you're going to tell us what you don't know?
What I believe about something, and I can be corrected, and I'm open to that. Well, I'll say what I do and don't know, or what I do know about something, and I'm open.
Are you saying anything? I guess the question is, can you be a theist and an atheist at the same time?
No.
Can you be an atheist and a theist at the same time?
Well, what is Buddhism?
Well, I don't know. Can you be an atheist and a theist at the same time?
Is it theistic, or are you an atheist if you're Buddhist?
Well, have you ever read the writings of the Buddha, the Dhammapada? I'm going to say no, you haven't. Oh, you know the Dhammapada? Okay, tell me about the chapter on the mind. The first chapter. Tell me what it says. Do you know what it says?
This is what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
We're having a nice conversation.
No, you're not. He's testing. He's testing. He's not asking you because he wants to.
That's fair.
He's testing you, which
sure.
That's what you want. It's fine.
Yeah. No, when I ask a question or make a point to kind of neutralize whatever is going on here, and I'm hearing someone getting worked up.
I'm not getting worked up. There's only one rule in this room. Don't interrupt the moderator. Don't you know that? You can't interrupt the moderator. But we can keep talking over each other if you want. But as long as there's...
No, I don't think I'm going to allow that.
Oh, we got kids! We got kids!
The rest of us, a lot of good.
He can't take it. He can't take it. He can't take it. Steve 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 can't take it.
It's kind of weird if you think about the theory of evolution and then you think about the origin of, or the creation of, or the utility of human communication and how it started.
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about theists and they should hold love and forgiveness and peace in their heart, and they're some of the fastest people to erupt in anger and insults and shame towards people who just simply disagree with them. It's very interesting.
So I would say that the first chapter is about moral cause and effect. And basically...
First chapter of what?
Of what we were discussing.
It's a Buddhist book.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the central message is that the mind comes first. Our thoughts shape our words, actions, character, and ultimately our suffering or happiness. And it basically presents life through pairs of opposites.
And I'll contradict myself. I do, in some ways, feel like Buddhism is a form of solipsism. And that the idea is that what you go through, who you meet, how you're hurt, betrayed, whatever you deal with, it is a very in some way self-centered belief system. But it's how I choose to respond to people, neutralize, choose not to reflect and harm people who have harmed me, etc. It's like you come into this world and this life to take a beating, but the challenge is to refine yourself and to perfect how you move through the world, and that is how you move up in your karmic rank, so to speak, but you don't do good things for karma. That's bad karma, actually. So, but going back to the solipsism thing, I think that's really rampant in this new age.
I wonder if there's like a diagnostic to tell IQ, like based on speech pattern. That the monotone type of I'm really mean. Is it? I'm just really mean. I think I'm really just mean. Let it go. You've been born again, refreshed. Took a hot bath. Soft and held, counted in your chest. Like, subscribe. That was the Steve Appel Ask the Atheist room, where I regularly go in and try to challenge these atheists. There is no God, they say. The word means nothing. That's what they say. It's like, how can you be an atheist? I mean, the word itself has its opposite. So who are you?
Yeah, it's kind of weird when you think about things like what's not love and forgiveness and people.
Follow gravity down. Slowly breathing roots you to the ground. Focus like a flame, still in all the sound. Bend like water, you will not break now.
So apparently, bullshit.
What is atheistic narcissism? What is atheistic? The question is, what is atheistic narcissism?
I would just say I don't know. I would state a statement and be insincere and say I don't know what I just stated. I don't agree with what I just stated. It would be an infinite black hole regress of epistemic insanity.
Well, it'd be an oxymoron because these people, like not every.
These people?
Okay, there's a lot of different kinds of people of all beliefs, but atheists generally, they tend to be very curious about the truth. And atheistic narcissism, I guess it's like if you're saying that they believe they're important or more value, condescending and cruel to people who don't agree with them.
cut the live stream. Thanks for watching, everybody.
100%.
Daily
I'm sure there are people